So, welcome back to our myth busting segment, the myths that disability insurance policyholders believe about ERISA and individual disability insurance, and the truth. I love being a myth buster, and I hear these myths from neighbors, friends, lawyers, insurance agents, and potential clients. And my job is to set everybody straight. So, what's today's myth? Well, the theme of our podcast today is elimination periods. And so the myth is I don't need to worry about elimination period traps in my claim. It's solid. When you apply for your disability benefits, I want you to think carefully about the date you list as the day you became disabled, because there are two traps. First is not understanding how long the elimination period is, and second, not understanding if you can work during the elimination period. So let's talk about elimination period trap one. A few disability policies pay benefits immediately after you become disabled. But most of the time, there's a waiting or an elimination period that can range from 2 weeks to a year, even more. Before you stop work, you need to know the length of the elimination period so you know how you're going to be able to pay your bills while you're waiting it out, because during that elimination period, you're not getting paid. Picking that right date to become disabled can make or break your finances. Now, some policies will allow you to work during the elimination period. And a policy provision can read like this. You must be continuously disabled for a 90-day elimination period. We'll treat your disability as continuous if your disability stops for 30 days or less during the elimination period. So that means that if you're not disabled, this time won't count towards your elimination period. Now, I think that's rather confusing, don't you? And I think it's equally difficult to apply. What I think that says is you can work during the elimination period so long as it isn't gainful work. Well, what on earth is gainful work? Gainful work means wages at least equal to your gross disability payment. So every day you work during the elimination period is reviewed to determine if the wage was gainful. Now, days during the elimination period that you have had gainful work do not count towards satisfying your elimination period. You'll only have 30 such gainful days during the elimination period. So if you have more than 30 days, you've got to start the elimination period all over again. And that's 30 total, not 30 consecutive days of gainful work. So let's try to translate the policy language that I just read to you. You can work just so long as it's not gainful work. So I'm going to tell you the story of Jack, who, like a lot of people, were in denial or are in denial about their disability. Now, he tried to work during his elimination period. Get out a pen and pencil, because I'm going to give you some dates. And we're going to have to do a little bit of math. Yeah, I know we all didn't go to school to become math majors, but math is what this story is about. So his date of disability was April 1st, 2015. His 90-day elimination period was from April 1st, 2015 through June 29, 2015. Now, his benefits were to begin on June 30th, the 31st day. His disability benefits were $3,096 per month, which translates to $697.68 a week, or $17.44 an hour. During the elimination period, he tried to work, and he was paid $25 an hour. Because that rate is higher than his disability benefit, his wages were gainful. So one day he worked 8 hours and he earned $200, but because his wages were gainful, that day couldn't be counted towards satisfying that 30-day elimination period. Remember, every day of gainful work up to 29 days gets tacked on to the back end of the elimination period. So if Jack had 29 days of gainful work, his elimination period would have extended from June 30 to July 27. Now, carriers will make numerous errors in making these calculations, and as an experienced disability attorney, I can help you catch errors that work against you. Let's talk about elimination period trap 2. Another policy minefield reads like this. You're disabled when Dewey, Cheatham & Howe Insurance Company determines you're limited from performing the material and substantial duties of your regular occupation due to your sickness or injury, and you have a 20% or more loss in your index earnings due to the same sickness or injury. During the elimination period, you're unable to perform any of the material and substantial duties of your regular occupation. The difference between this policy and the one above is that the clause says during the elimination period, you're unable to perform any of the material and substantial duties of your occupation. In other words, by the terms of this policy, you can't work during the elimination period. So if your employer is begging you to come back to work, you have to resist. And resisting can be a tall order if you're in financial difficulty. I've had this happen to one of my clients before. She returned to work prematurely and then had to stop working again. And she had to start all over again and meet the full elimination period. So the carrier asked, well, why did you stop working now after your doctor told you to stop working early? What changed medically? And the carrier might use your attempt to return to work against you. Worse yet, the very employer who encouraged you to return to work could terminate you. And that's what happened to my client. The carrier then said, look, you weren't disabled because you were working and your employer has let you go and you don't have any coverage. So the saddest thing I think that can happen to anyone is where the employer terminates a client during an unsuccessful return to work. Her coverage lapsed during the elimination period and she got nothing. The employer used this clause to not only terminate her, but deprive her of her long-term disability benefits. So the truth is that the two elimination period traps can destroy an otherwise solid claim. Next week, I'm going to take on the myth of applying for your disability benefits is easy. And in the next segment, I'm going to tell you the story of a senior principal product strategist and his struggle with the elimination period. Stay tuned.
Are you a professional with questions about your individual disability policy? You need the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. This book gives you a comprehensive understanding of your disability policy with tips and to-dos regarding your disability application that will assist you in submitting a winning disability application. This is one you won't want to miss. For the next 24 hours, we are giving away free copies of the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. Order yours today at disabilityclaimsforprofessionals.com.